Hey everyone, today's it is about when you go for a night snack late at night and you get attacked by a villain. Then they are at home and they open the news to see you attacked. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Let's get going. You stepped out of the convenience store, feeling relieved to have finally found everything you needed. It was late at night and the streets were deserted. You started walking back to your shared apartment with Bakugou and Kirishima, but you didn't notice the villain following you. Suddenly, you felt a sharp pain in your back. You gasped and fell to the ground, and that was when your vision blacked out. Bakugou and Kirishima were sitting on the couch, watching TV. They were in the middle of a movie when the news came on. The news anchor was reporting on a villain attack that happened earlier that night. The victim was a young woman who had been found passed out and bleeding on the street next to convenience stores. That's when they showed a picture of her. Baku's eyes widened. "That's Woyan," he said. Kirishima looked at him in alarm. "Oh no, she's hurt," he said. They listened to the news anchor finish her report. She said that the police were still looking for the villain, but that the victim was expected to make a full recovery. Bakugou stood up so fast that the couch almost tipped over. "We have to go to get her," he said. Kirishima nodded. "Let's go." They ran out the door and headed for the convenience store. They didn't know what they would find when they get there, if they would even find you, but they knew that they had to be there for you. When they arrived at the convenience store, they saw a crowd of people gathered around you. You were laying on the ground, unconscious. There was a large amount of blood on your shirt. Bakugou pushed through the crowd and knelt down beside you. "Woyan," he called out. He didn't move. Bakugou checked your pulse. It was weak, but it was there. "She's alive," he said. That was when Recovery Girl showed out of nowhere, kicked them away, and then started healing you. Bakugou watched her work, his heart pounding in his chest. After a few minutes, Recovery Girl was done. You opened your eyes and looked at them. "Kirishima, Bakugou," you said weakly. "We're here. Okay? Nothing's going to get to you." He hugged you tightly. "I'm so glad you're okay." You smiled. "Me too." The police arrived and took you to the hospital. Bakugou and Kirishima followed in their car. They stayed with you the whole time you were in the hospital, and you were there when you were released a few days later. Bakugou and Kirishima were so relieved that you were okay. They had been so scared when they saw you lying on the ground, bleeding and passed out. They vowed to never let anything like that happen to you again. They took you home and made sure that you had everything that you needed. They even stayed with you for a few days, just by your side, until you were feeling better. You were so grateful to Bakugou and Kirishima for being there for you. You knew that you could always count on them. You loved them both very much. Bakugou and Kirishima were also grateful to each other. They had realized just how much they loved Woyan, and they were determined to make her happy. They knew that their lives would never be the same without her. A few days after the incident, Bakugou and Kirishima decided that they were going to surprise you. They came over to the apartment, and they had brought you some food and flowers. They wanted to see how you were doing. You were still feeling a little weak, but you were doing much better now. You were so happy to see Bakugou and Kirishima, and you hugged them both tightly. "Thank you for everything. I probably would have been dead if it weren't for you. We're just glad you're okay, Woyan. We'll always be here for you," Bakugou said. Kirishima nodded. "That's right. We're family now." You smiled. You knew that you were truly loved by Bakugou and Kirishima, and you were so grateful for their support. They spent the rest of the day together, talking and laughing. They even watched a movie with you and played some games. You felt so happy and relaxed, and you knew that you were safe with Baku and Kirishima. As the day went on, Baku and Kirishima started to feel something strange. They couldn't explain it, but they both felt a strong sense of protectiveness towards you. They knew that you would do anything to keep you safe. When it was time for them to leave, Bakugou kissed you on the forehead. Get some rest. We'll see you tomorrow. Kirishima hugged you tightly. We love you, Anne. I'm quite sad to leave you alone, but we have to. You're gonna have to rest. You smiled. I love you too. It's okay. Bakugou and Kirishima walked out of the door, but they didn't leave. They stood on the sidewalk, looking up at your apartment. They knew that they would be back soon. They were both determined to protect you no matter what. You were still a little shaken up after the attack, but you were grateful to Bakugou and Kirishima for always being there for you. You knew that you could always count on them. A few days later, they came back over to your apartment again. They wanted to talk to you about what had happened. Are you feeling okay? Bakugou asked you. I'm feeling better, but I'm still a little scared. That's understandable, Kirishima said. But you're safe now. We're here with you. He smiled. Thanks. I'm just glad you're here. Bakugou and Kirishima sat down with you, and they talked about what had happened. You told them about the villain who had attacked you, and how you had been so afraid for your life. They both listened, intently. When you were finished, Bakugou spoke up. That bastard won't hurt you again. I promise. We'll make sure of it. Kirishima nodded. You smiled. You knew that Bakugou and Kirishima would keep their promise. You felt safe with them. You talked for a little while longer, and then Bakugou and Kirishima left. You were so grateful for their support. You knew that you could always count on them. When you went back to work, you were a little shaken up, but you were determined that you were going to get back to your normal life. You were glad to be back at work, but you couldn't help but feel a little scared. You were scared that the villain would come back for you. After all, they didn't find him yet. You knew that you couldn't let your fear control you. You had to be strong. You had to keep going. So, you took a deep breath and walked into your office. You were ready to face whatever came your way. At the end of the day, you were exhausted, but you were also proud of yourself. You had faced your fear, and you had won. You knew that you would never forget what happened, but you also knew that you would be okay. You had Bakugou and Kirishima, and they were always going to be there for you. Thanks for listening. Hope you liked this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Goodbye.